whatever is taking place, whether in the construction of your mind as a something is happening or a nothing is happening, it cannot be defined as one or the other. It cannot be defined as both. It can only be defined as ongoing. Whatever it is, we call it life, existence, is ongoing. There has never been a beginning, and there will never be an end. Although types of beginning and ends have been constructed by a mind, a human identity, an ego, that wants to stimulate the emotions. The emotions are all that exist. For example, what is enlightenment? Or to experience the extreme, what we call ultimate reality. It can be described as, it can be raised as a state of enlightenment, a state of bliss, Sat Chit Ananda. It can be a state of God, a state of Brahman, absolute. But what it is, that highest state, is simply the highest sensory state. That whatever we are can experience. Or whatever we are in this body, this emotions can raise to the highest and they can go to the lowest. That's what they say. That's why they're defined as different. Grief is the lowest, with anger and pain. And the highest is pleasure, orgasm, happiness, joy. So we have given a graph of what the emotions can attain or appear to attain. When the highest ultimate sensory, emotional, you can call it emotional or sensory, or just a knowingness is experienced, there has to be a point of desensitization. We have to come down from it, you see. There's no choice. There's no choice in what we do in our life. There's no choice of being a human, a soul, a spirit, or whatever it is that's taking place in your life, whether it's a physical form or a named form, a joiner, a scientist, a dentist. There's no choice in what is named. There's no choice because it's just an ongoing experience. And it's not even an experience. These are words that you know already, you see. You've never experienced end. No human being, no animal, no mind, no imagination, no thought, no moment has experienced end. When you go to sleep at night, is it the end? Was a movement from life or from wakefulness to sleep? Did you know? Did you say, oh, I'm awake? And then there was a pause and I'm asleep. If you say I'm asleep, then you must be awake. But you cannot identify yourself as being asleep. The mind cannot identify itself as being asleep while in sleep. So it has not ended. We call it a transition, a transformation. But in fact, it's the same. Whether you're asleep or you're awake, it's the same. Whether you're a man or an ant, it's the same. Whether you're form or formlessness, it's the same. When did you begin again? You see, I woke up in the morning and I began. No, there was no pause. And we say when the breath ends and the body stops operating, it's the end. Is it the end of the body? The body still seems to be there, whether it's cold, it still seems to be there. It can be burnt. The flames are still there. When you burn a candle with the flame, it's the same flame all the time, is it not? Is every flame different? It's the same. Whether the body is put on the ground, the body continues to operate, continues to go into the worms, and the worms feed on that, and the birds feed on the worms, and we feed on the birds. The mind also continues to operate in a different quality, in a different way, in a different method, in a different possible form or non-form. Why do we create beginning and end, you see? Because the whole of this is to sensualize our emotions, you see. Why do we have to raise our emotions? Why do we have to look for enlightenment? Why do we have to look for happiness, look for pleasure? Because we forgot what we are. A form of nature. The very experience of what we call walking is the highest experience. But it's not even the highest, it's not even the lowest. It is simply an experience. When it's sensualized, why do we look at the flower and we cannot identify the flower as being the same as me because it is a color, it is a shape, it is a form? It only lasts a certain period of time, while we hopefully will last a longer period of time. It's the same process. Everything is the same process. We appear to come and we appear to go. When the mind desensualizes, meaning when it goes back to its original state, that's what they call self and emptiness, is the original state of what we are. We cannot experience it when we are thinking about what we're going to get, what it will lead into, where we've came from, where we're going, what will it be like. You see, because we are trying to sensualize the experience before it has been experienced. It's just life as we know it is one whole, no beginning, no end, sensory experience. One moment. No beginning, no end. When we try and stimulate our emotions through words, through poetry, through art, through music, it's because we've forgotten that the idea is not to want more or need anything extra or differentiate or divide or analyze or measure. The idea is just to be the ongoing. You are the passing. I is the passing. When you experience yourself as a passer, that what appears to be passing, that form, that me, that person, that I, it's a man-made experience, but it's okay, you see. The whole of this is to say, when you understand what life is, fully understand what life is, and that understanding cannot be understood. It's the non-understanding what life is that makes it so revealing. It suddenly just comes. It appears like the hands appearing right now. They're not planned, they're not organized, they're not in any way a movement of some way to entice you to say, this is how to do it, this is not how to do it. We, in our time-based mind, are experiencing the same thing, but with a different understanding, because we have been the senses and the emotions are able to be manipulated. They're able to be put in a trance. They're able to be hypnotized, but they're also able to be dehypnotized. We can take a word, any word. We can take the word God. We can take the word self. So self is like every other emotional word, sensation, experience. It's just another movement, another flicker of that it is. Life is an unbroken circle of the same until a break comes. And you think the break is an end, a beginning and an end. It's not even a transition. When the break comes of the circle, something comes to heal it up again. Like a plant being reborn. They say samsara and nirvana are different. They're not. They say soul and body is different. They're not. They say spirit and God is different. They're not. They say devil and God are different. They're not. They're words, sensations, emotions to try and entice you. And of course, in the world of sensations, experiences, emotions, senses, and words, to speak like this is to say, well, there's no point. So we don't want this one. He doesn't talk highly about religion, highly about spirituality, highly about atheism, highly about Judaism, highly about Hinduism, highly about Christianity. He's just same old me. And the slug is the same old slug. And the window is the same old window. But we have to give it what we call in our churches stained glass effect, to stimulate the emotions, to add things, because we cannot cope with nature as it is. We have to enhance nature, enhance our bodies, enhance God, enhance the universe, until that ultimate experience comes, which each one of us will experiencing now. This ultimate reality, this truth, this that gives life to everything, this pure, undiluted consciousness, we can call it. I don't give it a name anymore. I don't give anything any names anymore. And then it happens and you have to desensualize. And you go from the top to the bottom, and then the middle and the top and the bottom and the middle and the top and the bottom and the middle. The pulse tells you everything about life. Everything in this world, in this planet, in this universe has a pulse. The pulse never ends, you see. You just pulsate out of this body into another. Not necessarily a human body. But there's no you see. The attachment to the I, to the person, gives an idea that I'm going to die. I was born and I'm going to die. And I can't cope with this life because I can't understand this life. So I try and light the fire of sensations and emotions to make it a bit more accepting. The senses and the emotions are pure when they're left alone. Is it not true? Do you need poetry sometimes? Do you need the color of the flower? Do you need the warmth of your bed? Do you need the hug from another person? To know that life is absolutely, incredibly perfect as it is? Perfect meaning contented. Buddha. Everyone is experiencing this life in different qualities, made up by their own different sensory, mind, and attached, conditioned, programmed way of being here as whatever we are, being here as. You can say you're a person, you can say you're a body, you can say you're God, you can say you're a soul, you can say you're a name, you can say you're happy, you can say you're sad. It's okay. You can say you're suffering, you can say you're desperate. It's okay. It will not continue the same through our emotions and our senses and how we react to this human life. The human life creates more higher up and down fluctuations. A flat line is the truest and most liberating place. The mind does not want the body to be in flat line because the mind has other devices. It wants to utilize the body. It wants to utilize all other bodies. The mind is universal. There's not your mind alone. We're all experiencing the same mind. It's something that we invented to help us try and understand. And the understanding is the problem. The understanding of what life is and God is and self is and all these consciousness is the problem. When we let everything be, we'll continue to be ongoing. But we'll continue to be ongoing anyway, because that's all there is. The passing. Life passing through itself every day, in every way, is the same passing. So there's no advocate of religion, spirituality. All are okay. All are experiencing itself. All are man-made constructs. All are ways of sensualizing the emotions because we're not happy with being just the way that we were born. We have to create some sort of game, some sort of high experience because we think this is the only experience I will have as this body. Truth is, it's not called reincarnation because reincarnation means something has to die and be reborn. Die meaning end. And then beginning again. You'll experience being every single body that you are willing, or consciousness is willing to show you up as. You'll experience being a slug, an ant, an elephant, a tree, a planet, a star, a movement, a space, a leaf, a raindrop, because all is the same ongoing life as it is. Now, what's the point in continuing with trying to understand life? Well, because it's up to you. It's totally up to you. Because you have developed an idea that you are this person. You have developed an idea that you are this body. You've developed this idea, this thought that you are going to live as a born form and die as a dead form. So, it's not dharma. It's not. There's no such thing as moksha. You see, Yuji Krishnamurti speaks of it as it is, but it's very destructive in how he explains what we are. We're just a biological form. Because life is biological, but it's natural. And it's love. It loves being here as itself. So, even in your desperation, even in your despair, even in your pain, even in your anguish, there's something that keeps you constant. keeps you at peace. There's no such thing as freedom, because that's all we are, is freedom. When we give up and surrender to that what drives us, which is not the brain, it's definitely not the brain, it's definitely not the mind, but these are vital tools to help you understand that you exist. I'm here. I know I'm here. I don't have to breathe. I don't have to watch my breath. I don't have to watch my heart. I don't have to watch my lungs, because I'm here. You'll always be here. There's no other way to describe whatever we are as this emotional sensory experience, this essence, except here, here-ness. To say I'm here means to stop and go into the present moment. But what can stop, you see? Nothing can stay in the present moment as a still, silent, permanent, dead to the world, dead to the universe, dead to the body, entity or non-entity. Decentralize the emotions. What do you have to do? You don't have to do anything in deep sleep. Yet it's the most peaceful part of the day. And everything is decentralized. And there was no end. We didn't experience the end. Didn't say, okay, you're awake, end. Deep sleep. The moment between wakefulness and deep sleep, the moment between each thought, the moment between each breath, the moment between when the light switch is on and off, is a truly profound, precious moment. It is the door that Assisi, Rumi, and all that has experienced this profound, ultimate abyss that they call self and emptiness. But in that place, you don't see God and all that stuff. You just let go of the idea that you're going to die and that you were born. And you have to accept and have trust and have faith that everything is going to be okay. Even though the next body may be the worst body that you're ever going to experience, this body also will pass. And the next one will pass. But there is only passing. I'm just passing through in your life right now. I'm just a thought, just an emotion, a sensory experience. I'm no different from you, or the slug, or the air that surrounds us, or the plant. It's just what we think. We have created a structure, a permanence. When humans are away from this planet, something else will take its place, but you will be there. Whether it's this planet or any other planet in any other galaxy, in any other cosmos. The mystery of life is incredibly mysterious. Leave it as the mystery. And you become that mystery. And every moment of every day, even in deep sleep, is a mystery. You don't even know what you're going to dream about in deep sleep. You don't even know what's coming next in this daily life. And that's the beauty and the bliss, and that's liberation, that's freedom. To not know that I know.